Tom Rand from Tom's Big Spiders here, about to do a quick husbandry video for E. campestratus, or the Pink Zebra Beauty, or PBZ, I believe is the nickname for them, kind of like LP or GBB. These are wonderful little spiders that I picked up about a year and a half ago from Tanya at Fear Not Tarantulas, and they've now put on some size, and it's time to rehouse them. So without further ado, let's get into the rehousing and some details about how I keep them and how you might want to keep them. Yeah.
Why is it so dark?
I don't know what's going on. Oh, because the light's on. All right, here we go. So we're about to continue our rehousing streak. I've been waiting to do these ones because a lot of people ask me questions about them. I featured them on my best beginner species, and that's E. campestratus, or the Pink Zebra Beauty. I think I know the common name of that. Now, I picked these guys up, oh God, about 18 months ago, I think. Maybe I'll double check, and obviously I always try to clarify in the notes. Well, over a year ago, and they were little teeny tiny slings. And one of the first things they did, you'll notice I have them in one of these Jamie's enclosure type enclosures, the AMAC boxes, and I put quite a bit of soil in. They dug straight down to the bottom and then dug a myriad of tunnels around the side. Hopefully this is coming in. You can see this whole corner is cleaned out. That's all cleaned out. There's a spider we're going to be moving in a minute. That's all cleaned out. So it's almost like Swiss cheese tunnels going all through this. Now, some observations. I started off with moist substrate and then kept one corner moist. They didn't seem to really care either way, and it got a little dry in between. The wintertime, they were fine. But one thing I noticed with this species is that not only will they dig straight down to the bottom, but they would also cover up the entrance to their burrows and then not eat. And when I opened up the entrance to one of their burrows and dropped a cricket in, because it was very obvious the little one had molted recently and hadn't eaten, there it is right up there, it immediately took the cricket. So this is a species that if you give it some extra space, you want to keep an eye on it, make sure that it hasn't buried itself and it's still hungry. And again, I do not normally encourage people to dig things up, but this is one where what you can usually do, and what I did with these guys, let me see if I can show it with this. Try my, put it everywhere. Where'd my other little one go? Oh, there it is. What I would do with these guys is find where the opening to the burrow is. So for example, right in here, I would spray it down so it's almost like mud and you can see all the dirt piled up. And then I would just take the end of the paintbrush and move a little bit to make a little bit of a hole, and then put a dead cricket right up there. And what I saw is that most of the times you could tell if they weren't particularly fat, they would come up and eat the cricket. So temperatures for these guys, they do well at room temperature, no problems there. Humidity, they don't seem to have any moisture requirements. I hate saying humidity, moisture requirements. And this is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Maybe we'll do this one second. So let's go ahead and do this one over here. So this is the larger of the two, and you can see this one's quite big right there. So one of them is growing much faster than the other. I don't know if it's male, female. I will say that I believe that one buried itself for a little while, and I thought it was just in pre-molt, and then it ate again, so maybe this one just ate a lot more. But now you can see it's up on the surface a lot more. They will burrow, and they will hide quite a bit. They're almost like a fossorial species when they first start out. So let me see how the heck I'm going to get this little guy out of here. No, let's go backwards. No, you little turd. There you go. Oh, and move my hand. There you go. There you go. Go down. No, go down. Man, there. Just go in your new home. Oh, there we go. All right. So there is one that is the bigger of the two. Now, when I got these guys, they were teeny tiny, probably, oh God, quarter inch, third of an inch maybe, and they seem to take forever to grow. So keep that in mind when you get, a lot of times babies are for sale. They are going to take a little while to grow, but I have noticed once it hit about a half inch or so, it really started putting on some size. And as you can see with this one here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it. The abdomen is looking quite plump and shiny, and I'm guessing it's going to darken up pretty soon. There'll be another molt, so I'll be curious to see how big it gets with that one. So as we back off, and again, these guys have, this is a husbandry video, but I have not raised these to adulthood yet, so this will kind of be updated as they get bigger. And I got to go ahead and label this one so I know what the heck it is later on. Now we're going to try to dig this one out. Ever so carefully. Which is not going to be fun because this stuff is literally like Swiss cheese. did a magic trick.
Oh, she's on the underside of this. She's right there. She's like,
oh,
it's
man.
like, you're never gonna get this thing out.
I got this. Hold on. No, back. There she goes. All right, that was a lot of fun. We'll probably end up fast forwarding some of this, and I'll put an explanation in, but if we want to hit the 2 times, you can go right in on her. There she is. You can see that one. Now, I'm guessing, only guessing, because I believe these were both from the same sack, and the growth rate was obviously much, much different. This one over here, you don't have to move it, is about 1.25 inches. This one here is probably about 3/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit longer. So this one's been growing much, much more slowly. So I'm assuming it might be a female, but maybe somebody who has raised both a female and a male can chime in. Do the males grow much faster? Because in some cases they do. So what I got here is a couple inches of substrate. I'm going to allow them to do some digging again, but not quite as much digging as they were doing before. Because again, if given too much dirt, this is when I would probably advise people that if you have slings, don't give them more than 1 inch or so if you got a tiny sling of dirt, because they will go to the bottom. And then again, the speculation is in the wild, they would be able to go down to the bottom and probably find insects under the ground, things under the ground to eat, so they wouldn't necessarily have to surface all the time. At least that's what we're guessing. These holes are smaller, she shouldn't be able to get out of there. It doesn't look like you'll be able to get the carapace through. And I'm giving him a cork bark hide to start with, but what I'm expecting is she's going to go under that cork bark hide, dig down to the bottom. Now, I do keep part of it moist for the time being, but as they get older, I will probably allow it to dry out more and just go to water dishes. And I do have 2 water dishes right here ready to go in, so they will have water. But again, they've been eating, they eat well, as long as they don't close off their burrows. They grow rather slowly to start, but almost like Grammostola pulchripes. When they're really, really tiny, it takes them forever to get larger. And once they hit about 3/4 of an inch or so, then they start really piling on the size and grow much more quickly. Not sure what why that is or what that would do for them in the wild, but it seems to be the case. So there we go, E. campestratus, pink zebra beauty. Again, these are kept around 72 to 74 degrees or so. They're on one of my lower shelves where it's a little bit cooler. They've been eating great, no fasting, and I will update once I've got more information on them. Maybe once this one molts a couple more times and is a juvenile, we'll do another update on them. All right, and just a little addendum to the end of this video. It's been a couple weeks, actually, since I shot it. Hopefully this one will show up here. This is my E. campestratus, the ones that I rehoused in the new containers. And I've had 3 people contact me within the last week just talking about how theirs had buried themselves. This is one of the few species that I will check on and try to see what kind of shape it is inside. So I don't know if you can see it there. It's pretty plump. Is it showing up? Mm-hmm. Pretty plump. This one is probably legitimately in pre-molt. But you can see the amount of digging it's done all the way around the base of this to here. Then there's tunnels coming up this way, and you can see the dirt stacked up on top. So they will do an extensive amount of burrowing, and it's one of the few species I've raised I found will actually burrow and not come back up when they're ready to eat. And this one here, you can see that one, if it's showing up, yep, is not in pre-molt. I'm almost positive. You can see the abdomen isn't quite that large yet. It's still got some room to grow a bit. And you can see that one actually did a thing all the way around the side. Up here now, if you take a look at top, oh God, I pushed this back down. There we go. This one is actually open. So what I would do is if you are worried that yours has buried itself and it's not in pre-molt, and sometimes you can see they do a nice little job digging up tunnels in the side. Sometimes you can catch a glimpse of them, but if they don't look that or there's worries, just carefully open up that den, kill a cricket, lay it up top. They will find it if they're hungry. If not, then you're fine. So there we go. Just a little update to show you how much they will dig. And I purposely put them in something with a little bit less substrate because I didn't want them burying themselves completely. And you can see they just completely ignored my wishes here and built this thing all the way up to the top. So if I had given them this much substrate, they would have gone straight down all the way around. There would have been tunnels all through the whole thing. So there we go. E. campestratus. Quick update from the original portion of this video. And now we can go on to the conclusion. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Just something I want to add here. If I were to rehouse them again, I would probably start, especially because these things are really teeny tiny, and something along these size. So we have the, I don't know what size deli cup this is, not 32 ounce, definitely, maybe 5.5 ounce. There we go. 5.5. And then a dram bottle would also work, even one smaller than this. So you'd be able to keep track of the spider much better. The one thing I did realize is that the way I housed them, when they dug really, really deep, it was easy for them to get lost at the bottom of those tunnels. So I'd probably give them a little less substrate. But besides that, that's pretty much how to set them up. Thanks so much for watching. For those of you who haven't seen my videos before and want to catch a couple other ones, I usually put them around in here. And if you're just watching for the first time and want to subscribe, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I've already put it up there. Thanks so much for watching.